From a galaxy far, far away to the final frontier, the depths of the universe have long since fascinated us on the big screen. I'm Katelynn Pedri.
And I'm Paul Gursky. This month on Theme on Screen, we're headed to space as we explore the furthest reaches of the universe.
So strap on your spacesuit as we blast off and explore Theme on Screen. And remember, in space, no one can hear the sound of the paddle on little Timmy Chalamet's ass.
Well, Katelynn, we have come to the end of Space Month.
It's been a wild ride.
Would you say that it's been out of this world?
I would say it's been out of this world. And I don't know if my phone has been listening to me, but now I'm just getting, and maybe it's because of the movie that we watched today, but I'm getting so much space content, so much space movie content. There's way more than we watched.
Yeah, we could do another whole Space Month, but it feels like it's been a long time since this was a month with 5 Mondays. I'm kind of excited to move on. You could say that I'm over the moon to move on to our next theme.
I think I'm done with space as well. Yeah. I've been watching a lot of movies lately, and it just feels nice to get out of my head out of space, if you will.
Yeah, I've noticed your letterbox that you seem to have a lot of time to just sit around and watch movies. It must be nice. Must be nice to be, have a job where you just watch movies all day instead of doing any sort of work.
I am doing a lot of work, actually. It's just I need something to look at, I guess, and I can't listen to music for some reason. John's a music guy, and he always has just music blasting. I can't do it for some reason, but I can watch a movie or a TV show. So whatever that says about my brain, I don't know.
I don't think I could do that and also work. If I have a lot of work to do,
like complete silence.
No, I don't need silence. If I'm doing work, I prefer music. If I'm just trying to kill time, I prefer podcasts. So I listen to a lot of podcasts.
Yeah, you do way more than me on podcasts, but I do way more movies, I guess. I don't know. I watched a couple really good ones too. I've been doing really well.
Did you want to talk about any movies that or just anything in general? I know you had some questions, but I forgot what they were already.
I have some notes, but I can tell the listeners what I've been watching because it's been a very eclectic mix. I'm not watching anything with intention, I guess, although I am still doing bingo. So some of those were with bingo intentions, but I won't tell you which. So today I watched Moulin Rouge. My friend Allison and I are going to go see the Broadway show in May and in New York City. And so I've never seen the movie before. I felt like kind of a dupa for somebody who's one, going to go see it, and two, it's kind of a classic, right? Like kind of a movie musical
Yeah, I've seen it a lot of times, so it is kind of embarrassing that you haven't seen it.
Really? Just a big Moulin Rouge guy?
I was a huge Moulin Rouge guy when it came out sometime when I was in high school, right? What year was that?
2001.
Yeah, so I would have been a sophomore in high school, so probably saw it my junior year. I had the DVD, watched it a bunch of times. I had never seen a jukebox musical at that point, and it was a lot of contemporary stuff that I was familiar with. You had Christina Aguilera and whoever else on TRL doing the the Moulin Rouge theme song.
Hey, sister, soul, sister, go.
Yeah,
sister. Yeah.
So that was just the right time.
I hope they performed that on the Broadway
Moulin
show.
Rouge.
Yeah, after Moulin Rouge, I watched Josie and the Pussycats, the Super Mario Brothers movie, Materialists, a bunch of Mary-Kate and Ashley, rewatched Train Spotting. Forgot how good that one was. I watched First Kid because it was just right when I opened up the Disney app, so I thought I'd give it a shot. I mean, I've seen it before, but then it turns out I was looking stuff up, and the kid, he's now he ran for, I think he was on the presidential ticket last time we were voting, and he's like a real creep and really into Bitcoin, so that sucks.
Was he Joe Biden?
No. And honestly, I can go on and on. I've really been on a kick, so I don't want to take over the podcast with naming everything that I watched. Do you have anything? You're looking at yours.
Well, I was looking at your letterbox, so I think you're at, it says 58 this year, so if you subtract the shorts, 48 movies this year. Katie's home. You are ahead of me. I'm going to have to really step up my game and watch some more movies. You're almost at a movie a week, and it's not even the end of March yet, so wow. I did watch a few movies. I should have kept my letterbox open. I don't want to say all of them because they were for bingo.
Well, I wouldn't know they were bingo if you said it.
You could probably figure them out, or you could figure it out by me which ones I didn't say and just looking at my letterbox. What did I watch? Since we last podcasted, I watched The French Connection. You know, The French Connection. It's a movie with Roy Scheider and Gene Hackman, directed by William Friedkin, director of Sorcerer.
Yes.
Okay. And then I watched Field of Dreams with Kevin Costner.
Bingo.
One of your favorite. No, it wasn't for bingo. Then I watched the movie Project Hail Mary, which we'll be talking about on this very podcast. And then yesterday I caught up with another 2026 movie, Nirvana, the band, the movie, the show.
Did you go out, or is it up on?
It was on
demand?
PVOD, so I rented it. So
okay.
Longtime fans of the show will know that friend of the pod, Ray Straight, mentioned that a few episodes ago. And it was a very funny movie.
Did you like it as much as he did?
I mean, he liked it and I liked it, so I don't know.
He spoke very highly of it, so I'm just wondering if you also speak.
It was a very clever movie. I think I wish I
it.
would have seen it in theaters with other people that were also laughing, because that's just
Katie
experience.
Didn't laugh?
She fell asleep within 10 minutes.
That sounds about right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There were some very funny jokes, and I did laugh out loud at home, but I think having that communal experience with other people tends to make comedies fun to see in theaters, and we just don't get a lot of comedies these days. Yeah, it would have been fun to see it like Ray Straight in theaters, but I did enjoy it at home. It was very clever, and there were a couple of gags that did make me laugh out loud, so would recommend.
Cool. Couple gags.
Yeah.
Couple of gags, man. I don't know why
they're not British, they're Canadian, but...
Yeah, I don't know why I did it. It just felt right. Like, because I was going to go with, like, gigs, but I went gags.
Neither would have been right, but I appreciate the effort that you put into it.
Mm-hmm.
This is podcasting, guys. This is the back and forth that we give each other every week.
This is that banter you guys tune in for.
Mm-hmm.
That hot banter. Well, as you mentioned, we did see Project Hail Mary, so I thought we would take a moment to give a shout out to everybody who showed up to your birthday party.
Thank you for all of my birthday friends. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you want to say everyone's name individually? Is that what you were doing?
No, okay. I don't. I just thought maybe you wanted to take a moment to thank them. Like, it was your party, so I thought I would give you the space to thank them.
Well, yeah, I do really appreciate all of my friends that were able to make it to the party, and the ones that were invited and had tickets and didn't show up. You know who you are, and you are specifically shamed. But
we'll never forget what you've done.
Just shout out to my friends and family. It was a really fun experience, and like we always say on this show, we enjoy that communal aspect of watching movies, so being able to watch it with people that I'm close to and not just strangers was a very fun experience.
I'll agree with you. Sadly, I get a pit in my stomach whenever we go to the theater, because I'm thinking, like, oh my God, someone's going to talk. Oh my God, someone's going to ruin this experience. And I get this nervous energy, and I should have a fun, excited energy to go to the theater. Mm-hmm. But, and I had that when I walked in because we rented quote, Skybox. We just bought all the seats. And I had it for a minute, but I think people were also probably really terrified that you and I would be like, shut up. Nobody talk. Yeah, 100%. So I think that they were also really quiet because of that. But yeah, no one made a peep, and it was a really nice experience to watch and just feel comfortable in the theater again. Do I want to rent it or have to rent out a Skybox every single time? I hope not. Because it's not. I mean, I guess it's not super expensive, but it's a little more than a regular ticket.
It's more than I would like to pay for just your average movie.
And how many? Because we see a lot of movies.
Yeah. What was your overall impression of the Skybox? I know you wanted to talk about that for our dear listeners that aren't familiar with Skyboxes.
So, dear listeners, so we went to an Imagine Theater. So you do have to go either up the steps or up the elevator, which I thought was a very chic experience. And it was very private. There was a bar outside of the Skybox, which I kind of wish was open. I don't know when they open it, but maybe that's an option for people too. So you do get what is it? 20 seats in there, 15 seats.
It was 17, I believe.
17 seats. You're behind glass, but then the speakers come in. The only issue I think I had was not giving the regular people a chance. It was full down there. It looked pretty full to me. And I would have liked to experience this film with everybody, like almost 100 people that were in there. But if I had given them the chance and they had messed up, I would have been so pissed. So I would do it again. I think it would be a fun experience if we actually did like rent out one of those theaters and made it like an experience. I've seen people do that where they like have a plate, like a table of food, and you can bring drinks or whatever, and like really have your friends do a thing, and you can play whatever movie that they have playing. You can like put on the screen for yourself, whatever. So, yeah, I would do it again.
Yeah, same. Probably for a big event movie like this, I don't think seeing Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie really would have played as well. I mean, that obviously wasn't filmed for IMAX. So I guess that's the only real complaint that I had was that this was, I guess, their EMAX theater, which I'm not sure what the ratio is, how it compares to an actual IMAX screen. But because you're so high up and kind of far away, it does lose the grandeur of being in an IMAX theater. You're like
Yeah,
not overwhelmed by that screen. The sound was still really good, like you said.
right.
But you're further away from the screen, so it doesn't have the same, whatever you get when you're actually in an IMAX theater. And
Yeah,
then
it
the
it didn't
glass was
look
a
as
little,
big,
yeah, it didn't look as big. It's perspective for you.
and the
I don't
glass
know about your
was.
sight line because the glass was kind of. I had a good like spot, but I think some people look like because the glass was in little partitions, so I think there were like lines that were kind of blocking some people's line of sight, which I
There
don't know why it
was,
wasn't
yeah,
just an entire thing of
like a
clear
flat piece of
plexiglass or
glass.
whatever. So whatever.
I didn't know that those would be there, but I was lucky enough to get a seat that wasn't in that a line of sight. But that's something to definitely think about.
Yeah.
And I think I had like the perfect seating for where we were because it's kind of off center too. I don't think it was directly underneath where they were projecting either. I think it was
Oh,
off
we
to the
were in the
side.
room where they were projecting. I don't know if you noticed the projectionist came in halfway through the movie. There was another little
No,
door
I
in.
didn't notice that. I
Yeah.
thought it was you going to the bathroom. I thought it was
No,
you.
I never got up.
That's why I thought it was you, and then the person got up and left, and I go, "Wow, Paul is sick. He's been gone for a really long time."
No, it was the projectionist, or I don't know. It could just be a guy hitting a button. I'm sure everything's digital these days, but yeah. So Skybox, pretty cool, but not something that I feel the need to do often. We talked, I don't know if you were there afterwards when we were hanging out. Some of us had mentioned if we wanted to do it again, seeing Disclosure Day there, if we could get a big group together. So I think that would be, the kind
Oh
of
no, I was in
movie.
the bathroom for that.
Yeah, but yeah, something like that, or what's that movie you like with that little French boy that's coming out in December?
Dune 3.
Yes, a big spectacle movie like that, probably fun to see there again. So, yeah. Uh,
Okay.
Actually, I'm gonna give it this.
Yeah, we'll give it one of
Yeah,
these.
yeah. If you haven't seen the
Wink.
movie yet, then or you can't see us, well, that just doesn't make any sense then. So yes, you also wanted to talk about animation a little bit, right? That's what you had on here?
Yeah, in anticipation of our next theme on screen,
Mhm.
uh I saw somebody who was naming what their letterbox would be if it was just different genres. So I thought that'd be interesting to kind of just think about what we would put if we could only choose, certain genres. And so I thought maybe animation would be a good option to get us ready for the next theme.
So I will say I'm glad we're doing animation month, but I also am slightly allergic to animation. Like for whatever reason, as an adult, I bounce off of animation a lot. I have seen almost no Pixar movies or pretty much any movie that is good for kids and you're
Hmm.
supposed to like it as an adult too. I just don't even have any interest in watching. So
I get it.
my list is short. It might not even be correct because I have one movie on here that I probably haven't seen since I was like 10. But damn it, I'm gonna try with some animation next month. And I do like anime. I'm a dork. So yeah, that's just my caveats
Put
before
some
I say
respect on
this.
our name. We are not dorks.
I'm a dork. No one ever looks at me and
He's
thinks, "Oh
kind of
yeah,
dorky.
that guy's cool." Like, come on. I've got a podcast.
You don't think any one person thinks you're cool?
No,
It's not me. Like, don't look at me. I'm not saying it's me. There's not one person out there that thinks you're a cool guy.
no, not even like someone that weirdly likes me, like Matt Turner. I don't think Matt Turner's like, yeah, he's my best friend and he's really cool. He'll be like, yeah, he's my best friend. He's kind of a dork.
Yeah, and then it just kind of ends there.
Yeah.
He's my friend. What's your top 4 if it was animation only, Paul?
Okay, so number one, and I can be certain about this, it's definitely the animated movie I've seen the most times, and yeah, just a favorite, Kiki's Delivery Service.
Paul, that's mine. That's mine too.
Is it really?
I'm not joking. I'm really not joking.
I mean, yeah, I adore this movie. I saw it for, I don't know what year it was released in the US. Probably I saw it dubbed far sooner than I ever saw the subtitled version. But I rented this movie all the time. I eventually owned this movie and watched it all the time. I own it again now on DVD. I'll probably upgrade to the 4K at some point. Yeah, great movie. Love
That's
Kirsten
so
Dunst.
funny that you said that. Yeah,
Love
there's
Phil
nothing
Hartman
wrong with that movie.
yeah.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with that movie. Actually, when we were in Epcot last, and we went into the Japan Pavilion, they have a whole anime section in there, and I found like drawn cells of Kiki's Delivery Service, and I brought one home, and it's in my guest room hanging. That's just
awesome.
It's
probably the first anime movie I ever showed Katie.
I think
Katie
it was
is very much
mine.
not an anime person, and this is one that I knew would be palatable for her. So she also loved it, and just a great film. I accidentally left it in, I can't remember, my Xbox, I think, a video game system that I gave to my friend Jason, or maybe it was in a case of a game that I gave him or something, and he just randomly ended up showing it to his daughter because he hadn't seen it, she hadn't seen it, and yeah, she kind of fell in love with Ghibli films at that point. So I guess I don't currently have that movie. It's floating around somewhere with my friend Jason, but yeah, number 2.
Okay.
For me, Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Okay.
It's Wes Anderson. You know I love Wes Anderson.
I know who it is.
I'm explaining to our
listeners.
listeners. Yeah.
It's for listeners. I got it.
Sorry, Caitlin's too busy texting.
No, I'm not.
She's too busy getting updates on Tom Holland's fake wedding.
I'm here as the one who provides the gossip, so
okay.
I'm
well,
doing
what's your number
favor.
2?
So my number 2 is going to be Ratatouille. I know it's already in my top 4, but that's why.
It's a blind spot for me. I don't even know. Is that?
I know.
It's about a little squirrel. Okay.
No.
Well, my number 3, so this is the one that I haven't seen in a long time, and I always say it's one of my favorite Disney movies or my only favorite Disney movie. I don't know, but The Lion King. But honestly, if you put a gun to my head and said, do you want to watch The Lion King? I don't know. I might just die. I just have something against the animation. I don't know what it is. The Lion King was good, though. I always really enjoyed The Lion King.
Well, this is going to be a good opportunity for you then to open up your usuals. Your usual, what you watch. There's a lot of really good ones out there. I'm not saying that every single one is great. Like, obviously, none of these, what's that studio that's doing all the Minion? Like fuck the Minions, man. Like, that's not, for me, I think, maybe for some people, quality animation. Is that bad to say?
I don't know. I haven't actually seen them, so the Minions could be really funny.
I think I've seen one Minion, but not the Minion proper.
Usually like a lot of them.
Well, no, because there's the Gru movie, like the Steve Carell, he plays the voice of the guy, but then they offshooted all the Minion movies off of that.
Yeah.
So I've never seen
Minions
any of those.
3 is coming out this summer.
No, it's not. Isn't it like Minions 8? Isn't there like a bunch of them?
Pretty sure it's just Minions 3.
How many Minions? Okay, my number 3?
Yeah, sure.
My number 3 is Lilo and Stitch.
I have not seen that either.
Yes, you have. You watched it before we went to the... Oh, you lied to me.
Yeah,
I forgot.
Probably did. I've seen the live action Lilo and Stitch was quite poor, but I haven't seen the animated one.
Well, I love it, and it makes me feel happy inside, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that movie either. So,
sure. And I put a recent one on my list. It won Best Animated Feature last year, I believe. Flow.
Okay, yeah, I haven't seen that one.
Okay, it's a Katelynn movie if I've ever seen a Katelynn movie.
Oh, it is?
You just said Ratatouille and Lilo and Stitch, and you haven't watched the movie about a bunch of animal friends that have friendship together? Come on.
That is really sweet. That is really sweet. Flow,
yeah.
Okay, I'll add it. I'm gonna write it down. I'm gonna write down Flow. Watch Flow. Got it.
All right, well, we know what you're watching tomorrow. Okay, your last one before we were done with this great banter. I don't even know how long we've been bantering since I had to get up.
Okay, so this was a hard decision, but it had to be something that I watch over and over again, I think is funny and whatever. Shrek 2.
I have never seen. I've seen bits and pieces of some Shrek movies when they were on Comedy Central. Like The Office would be over, and I just would be too lazy to turn off Comedy Central. But usually when I would go
Mm-hmm.
down for my nap, um,
Just like a little baby. Um,
yeah.
if you have Peacock and you go to the channels, like subheading, there's a whole channel that just plays Shrek all the time.
Well, I can tell you one thing for certain that I'm definitely not going to do, and it's going to be catch
And
up
it's
on any
watch
Shrek movie.
Shrek, yeah. And Shrek 2
Yeah.
is the best Shrek, and I think everybody can back me up on that. And if they want to fight me on it, I could say that, yeah, maybe Shrek 1 is really good, but Shrek 1 is or Shrek 2 is far superior. So
What are we working
hit
on
me in
now?
the
Shrek
hit me in
4?
the comments.
Is Shrek 4 what's coming out next year?
Yeah. Uh-huh. But
And
there's also
then
like the Puss in Boots
Puss in
movie,
Boots,
but I
yeah.
haven't seen that. Like I'm strictly just Shrek,
Yeah.
and yeah, me and my sister we love Shrek.
You know what I could have probably put on there instead of Lion King that I probably have seen more often and maybe like more as an adult? Nightmare Before Christmas.
That's a great choice.
Yeah, let's go with that. Nightmare Before
Okay.
Christmas.
Okay. So listeners, though, we're not gonna watch any of those, but you'll get our list soon. But it's not any of those.
Our list is still up in the air. I think it's fair to say that now. We're TBD in it. Maybe we'll even do a listener's choice again, like we did for Halloween. We haven't done that in a while. Give the people some choices, and they can vote on it.
They screwed me last time.
Well, we're not going to have the animated version of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which actually sounds pretty sick. We should have that.
Yeah, I'm kind of like into that, but
well,
because that one
gonna
probably
see
won't
some
smell
stuff.
as bad.
Yeah, probably not. We're gonna have a special guest that probably should have had on already. He was at my birthday party, and he was pretty sad that Matt's been on twice and he hasn't been on once. But we're gonna rectify that situation. So yeah, we've got a special month for you.
You guys
April.
you guys will really like that one. A real good guy, real good talker.
True. He does know how to talk. Yeah, I don't know. Is that all of our banter, Katelynn?
Yeah, I think that's all we got for the fans and the pals and the gals. And
it's pretty good banter. We've got some movie to talk about, so we could probably jump right into the movie. Our last space movie. As we already said, Project Hail Mary, biggest movie in the country right now. So we're gonna be jumping on the bandwagon and telling you our thoughts.
I can't believe that we went to an probably opening day, right? Friday was that opening day.
Well, we went on Saturday, and technically Thursday was opening day.
So opening weekend, but whatever.
Yeah, it's opening weekend.
And then we should also, I mean, we're gonna spoil this.
Very
that goes
much
without
this movie
saying.
will be spoiled.
But since it is a new one, I want to give a little caveat that if you are still planning on going to go see it and you don't want to hear Paul and I spoil the entire movie for you, now's the time.
Yeah, jump into one of our previous episodes. I would recommend, I don't know, what would you? Galaxy Quest.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Listen to Matt Turner. He was referenced so often on this podcast. You should really just get a taste of him.
Matt Turner, never heard of him.
Turner, I hardly knew her. I don't know.
Close. Go ahead.
How do we usually start this, Katelynn?
Okay, so we watched Project Hail Mary. Who is in that, Paul?
Who is in the movie Project Hail Mary? Well, it's a pretty sparse cast. But Ryan Gosling plays Dr. Ryland Grace. Sandra Hüller plays Eva Straught. James Ortiz is the voice and lead puppeteer for Rocky. Lionel Boyce plays Officer Carl. Ken Leung plays Commander Lee. Probably the last person we need to mention, but one of the loves of my life, Melina Von Traub, plays another astronaut whose name is Russian and I'm not going to attempt to pronounce. And that is basically the major cast of the movie.
What do you know her from?
She's Lily from the AT&T commercials.
Oh my God. Look at that upgrade she got. Good for her.
You know, she's been in a lot of other stuff too. She's been in movies and TV shows. I think most people probably just know her as Lily from the AT&T commercials.
Yeah, well,
she's in a pretty good like horror comedy with Sam Richardson called Werewolves. Maybe Werewolves and I don't know, it's Werewolves something. She's been in some other good stuff. She was supposed to be Squirrel Girl in the MCU, but that project never got off the ground. She's really funny on Instagram. She raised a bunch of money for the wildfires last year by starting something called Only Philanthropy, which was basically selling sexy but not nude pictures of herself to raise money for wildfire victims. I think she raised like $500,000 or something. So she's really cool. I
Unexpected. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
So we're not even going to talk about the movie. This is now just a Melina von Traub podcast, and we're going to go through her entire filmography.
Apparently. No, I worked really hard on this plot overview, listeners, because it was mostly from memory. And I wrote this 3 days after I had watched it. And so, Paul, please step in where I get things wrong, because I did leave to go to the bathroom, I believe, twice. And I was crying a lot throughout, so feel free to stop me.
But one of my sisters did text me, and she was like, what did Katelynn think of the movie? She was crying so much.
I was crying so much! Like 3 separate occasions. They weren't like full out like weepings, but it was definitely like, I was like, and I thought I was containing it. I really thought I was containing it, but Taylor was right next to John, so I don't think I was containing it very well. Okay, so with my caveat of being from memory, I'm allowing Paul to step in where I'm wrong. So we meet Dr. Ryland Grace, covered in a thick bushy beard and long hair coming out of what seems to be a coma. He's freaking out and a robot is poking and prodding at him, and he clearly doesn't remember or know why he's there. As he comes to and starts to be able to move again, we find him on a spaceship. He finds out that he, along with 2 other people, went up into space, but those 2 people did not make it with him. They passed away. So through fragmented flashbacks, we find out that Ryland was a middle school science teacher, and during a game with his students, we find out that Earth is heading for a catastrophic failure as a microorganism called astrophage is draining energy from the sun. He reluctantly tells the students this because that should probably come from their parents. I totally understood why he didn't want to be like, yeah, the Earth is ending, because parents are like really big into like getting teachers fired. So I hear.
Should we cue the Fresh Prince and DJ Jazzy Jeff right now?
Wah, wah. Parents just don't understand. We also find out through these flashbacks that Grace is a molecular biologist, right? And he wrote a paper saying that we don't really need water to survive. I think that was what it was about. And it kind of ruffled a lot of feathers in the community. But it does lead to him being recruited by a task force to help with the issue of the astrophage by Eva Stratt. Eva brings Grace into her task force to figure out what makes the astrophage work, why it's spreading, why it skipped a planet, and other things. So Ryland works and eventually finds the reasons. This is when Project Hail Mary is created, a last-ditch effort to stop the astrophage from spreading, to hopefully stop the sun from plummeting into ice age low temperatures and destroy the entire Earth. A crew is recruited to join Hail Mary, but a freak accident causes the death of the scientists and they need to fill the spot. So they choose Ryland Grace. He does not agree, and they forcibly put him into a coma and send him up into space, which I didn't agree with that. I thought that was they were pushing it there. Now, as you recall, Grace is the only member of his crew that woke up, so he must pilot the ship alone, even though he's not a pilot. He is a scientist. On the ship's way to the destination Tau Ceti, the Hail Mary is pulled into the orbit of an alien spaceship. Here, Grace meets Rocky, an engineer from another species that is also trying to save his home from the astrophage. They establish communication through math, science, and computer technology. As Rocky and Grace grow their bond, they learn from each other, drawing on each other's strengths, and they discover a predator organism that consumes the astrophage. Together, they experiment and find a solution to the astrophage, drawing on each other's knowledge. After finding their solution, the two sadly decide to part ways. Ryland goes back to Earth, Rocky goes back to his planet, each taking part of what they created, the Talmiba, the one that eats the astrophage, back to their individual planets. Grace, knowing that this part of the mission is basically to die, like he's not supposed to make it back to Earth, and he sent all of his findings back to Earth ahead of him, and then he's like kind of trying to go back to Earth, but I mean, he knows in the back of his mind that he's not going to make it.
You're wrong about this part.
I am?
Yeah, so he didn't think he was going to make it. He didn't sign up for the one-way trip, but it was supposed to be a one-way trip. But remember, Rocky gives him enough fuel to get back to Earth.
Yes,
he sacrifices some of his fuel, so he will get back slower, but yeah.
But he'll still be... Okay, thank you, Paul. That's why I needed you to pop in. Where was I? Okay, so they're on their way back. Grace realizes that the Talmiba is actually eating through the holders that it's in, and he knows that the same thing will be happening to Rocky, so he has to make that decision now. Do I continue on to Earth, or do I turn around and save Rocky? Well, guess what? He turns around to go save Rocky. Together, they deliver the solution to Rocky's planet, and as you remember, Earth gets it as well. Grace ends up living on Rocky's planet, living among his species, and teaching the alien children, like, school stuff. Earth is most likely saved from that solution that Grace sent them, and all is well at the end. And Rocky says that he thinks that now they can get him back to Earth, but he ends up saying something like, "Let me think about it." So that's how the movie ends.
That is a summary of the
That
movie.
is a summary. I did it. I'm giving the thumbs. I did it. For those that have seen it.
Yeah. And they can see us right now. This is, if you're just listening to the audio version, where our thumbs down joke's probably not landing.
Yeah. Well, you should also watch us on YouTube. We're worth it.
Yeah,
We're worth it now. Yeah.
So yeah, if this is
where
your
do you
first
wanna
time, that's all we do. We just talk, we do a summary of the movie, and then we peace out.
Good luck. Go get your tickets now.
What if we
Bye.
were just, what if that was our new thing? We were just Cliffs Notes versions of the movies. We just gave a quick summary, had a little banter, and that was it. We don't have thoughts or anything. Yeah, so thoughts.
See.
This movie was directed by Lord and Miller. Thoughts about Lord and Miller?
Well, I'm seeing a lot of stuff online about this guy because he has a very small
it's
list
two guys, right?
that he's two guys.
Phil Lord
They
and
have a
Chris
very
Miller.
small list of what they've done, but it's a very eclectic list. Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, anybody? Like, and then both of the Jump Street movies. So I guess I've actually seen most of the stuff that they've done.
Yeah, and then writing,
and Lego
not
movie.
directing, the Lego movie and the Spider-Verse movies. So the animated Spider-Man
So I
movies
actually have
with
seen
Miles
everything
Morales.
except Lego.
So I have seen everything other than Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
You gotta watch Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, bro.
They do have their fingers in a lot of they've produced a lot of stuff too, but they just haven't really directed anything since, I think. Together, their last directing credit was 22 Jump Street. So yeah, it's been since 2014 since they actually directed a movie together.
Well,
yeah,
they knocked it out of the park with this one then. I mean, how lucky to get this as their follow-up project to those two great comedic efforts. My name is Jeff,
I haven't seen
right?
that one in a while. I've seen both of the movies, but it has been a minute.
Well, anyway, that and Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, you got to watch that one too.
So I'm never going to watch Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, but it is still one of my favorite just running gags whenever Katie mentions the weather. She'll be like, "Oh, it's sunny out." And I'm like, "Yeah, but there's a chance of meatballs." It never fails to make her not laugh. She has never once found it funny, but I use that joke every time. So thanks,
you need to
Lord
watch the
and
movie because
Miller.
it's not just meatballs.
It's not, they didn't even come up with that. It's based on a book. So I don't know.
It is, yeah.
Then that's the podcast.
No, well, there's not a lot to talk about, I guess, with it because they have such a small, but I think that they're going to be doing a lot more after this.
Maybe they've got.
Is there another book, another Project Hail Mary Part 2 or something?
The author does have one more book that I think most people don't like, and they have talked about adapting that, but who knows how far that will get.
Well, I think they're going to get some work out of this.
They've got fingers in a lot of pies, and the movies, pretty much everything that they have written and directed together has been great. So actually, I guess they didn't even
just
write
best
this.
friends?
Yeah, I think they might be the Rocky and Grace of just real life, writing and directing, and sometimes doing different things. That kind of duo. I don't know.
So
I don't know how
sweet.
they met. I didn't look up their biography. We're spending too much time.
I don't know. I was just checking. All right. How about the themes of the movie? What do you have for themes of this movie?
Space travel.
Got it.
So honestly, just hope in general. I've talked a lot lately about how things just kind of suck right now. And yeah, just having a movie about this come out, well, a movie like this come out, and just the overall vibes are kind of just positive vibes, and just it's a Hail Mary, but they still have hope that they can save their species and the entirety of mankind. And it's not, I don't know, there's just something about the tone of this movie that is incredibly optimistic, and I really think that theme of hope just kind of radiates throughout.
In that vein, I wrote rediscovering your purpose. He does seem to enjoy being a teacher. I don't get me wrong. It seems like he likes doing that, but I think his love was more in that science portion, like doing the work and the the bits and the bobs and
Mm-hmm.
the things. Like, he loved all that stuff. So I think having a purpose of being able to help this mission in any way that he was able to before they, drugged him and threw him on the ship. Um, the opportunity to really make a difference again. I think that was what I got from it.
Yeah.
And to get to save Earth possibly. That's huge,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And
Yeah, I
then
don't think you mentioned it in your summary, but they don't touch on his like previous life too much in the movie. But you do get a little
mhm.
bit about how he, had a career prior to this, and he was kind of disgraced in that career. So you kind of get the sense that he's maybe just slumming it a little bit as a middle school teacher. Like maybe that's the only career that was open for him. So yeah, rediscovering your purpose, being recruited to, go work on a mission like this, his character really does seem to come alive in some of the like early sciencey stuff that we get to see him doing.
Right, right. And 2 points to that, because whatever, happened with this paper that people didn't like, and he wrote that, we don't actually need water and whatever, I think it might have led him to being basically poor. Because remember, he has his bike and he said, I'm riding it and it's not for exercise. Like, so
Yeah,
he can't afford a car. Like, but for some reason he has like that really cute cardigan, and that probably wasn't cheap. I don't know. It was like a cute cardigan.
maybe it was a
Um,
gift.
Maybe it was a gifted cardigan. And then you mentioned that spark, and I wrote spark. Like, he gets that spark in the early parts of doing the science, and also when he's working alongside Rocky, and they're both, starting to get those sparks of creativity and sparks of inspiration of what might actually be going on here. And it takes a little bit more than just straightforward science, I think, for a lot of the stuff that they're doing, and especially at the beginning when he's in the lab. Grace is in that lab at the beginning, and he's like, well, why would they have skipped this planet? And he came up with that box and, the light, and he had to put the light at the same temperature as would be on the planet. So he just went to Home Depot and bought like a shit ton of stuff and a bunch of Skittles. And so I think for him, for Grace, it's just like those sparks of creativity and ingenuity really get him going. And that was one of the other things that I wrote, was problem solving and ingenuity.
Yeah, this is. I don't know the best way to put it. I was going to say competency porn, but he's very just competent, and it's kind of cool. He's not just an everyman. He's the right person for the mission. So yeah, seeing that's pretty cool. And that's the movie.
With stop trying to end it. With problem solving and ingenuity, it reminded me a lot of Apollo 13, when
Yeah,
they
that makes
were
sense.
trying to figure out how to, help them from Earth. Kind of that same business of just like, my mind doesn't work that way, like at all. I would just be like, well, if I guess I'm dead, it's like I can't think of those things. So it takes a really special person to have their mind work in a way that they can figure all this stuff, even though there's like peril right outside the window.
Yeah.
If a door
Um,
accidentally opens, you're dead.
don't accidentally open a door.
Oh, I never
Uh,
do.
let's see what else, Katelynn. I mean, okay, I'm not going to be afraid to get political here. We currently live in a time where it's just hard to even see the shared bonds we have with other humans, people that are like this. And this is a movie about people of two different people, I guess, just two different species being able to find
That's what I
that common
wrote. Yeah.
bond with each other and
Yep.
learning to work together and learning to thrive together. And, obviously just becoming best friends. So it's also, yeah, just hope in kind of dire times that we live in now, but also learning to see others. I don't know. Yeah, learning to see others. Like literally, I can just end the sentence there. See you.
What I think is important with the friendship between them and being two different species is that if I had seen an alien, I would have lost my shit. Like, I would have probably screamed, thrown up, ran the other way, but he did. Well, I went to the bathroom. He didn't freak out, right? Am I
You got
on
a
the
little
right track?
scared
'Cause
at
I actually
first, but
went right at the I went right at the part.
it was almost like a horror movie beat where you see Rocky's hand kind of like hit the glass and
Oh, okay.
he's scared, but it didn't. I mean, it was more played for laughs than anything else. So,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I
I mean,
think
there
you're
was a couple jump
right.
scares because John was like, one or two times,
in
but it's not scary.
a lot of like movies with aliens and like encounters and stuff like this, they are sci-fi action movies, and it's shoot first, ask questions later. Even
Hmm.
things in real, like I don't know if you ever listen to like the podcast Lore, but they'll talk about
Yes.
sightings of weird creatures and stuff, and they'll just be like, this sighting of the Jersey Devil, and John came out on the porch with his shotgun and just shot at it, and like, you don't know what something is, and your first instinct is to shoot it, like, really?
That sounds about
But
right, actually.
I mean, it does, but I mean, it is kind of a nice change of pace here that is not what goes on.
Yeah. The relationship is actually, if not the most important part of the movie, it is one of the most important parts of the
Mm-hmm.
movie. It is the entire movie hinges on their relationship and them working together. And it gives the movie heart where it could have gone just super science-y with everything. And maybe that's why this was one of my favorite of once we watched. I need that little bit, for me, because like I said, I'm not very sciencey. I used to be when I was a kid. Don't get me wrong. You went to science camp, like I loved science,
It was just
and
space camp,
or
and you
space
only
camp.
loved the
Sorry.
pyramids. You only were doing
No,
your.
I was very good at science class. Like I was very good in science class. Um, but I also liked. Maybe I'll get into it later. Well, no, I'll get into it now because I wrote it down as part of this. Uh, Also with Rocky. Excuse me. They didn't, and I didn't read the book, so please, friends and family. They didn't go like like full alien with him, like where he could have been like a green guy with big eyes and he maybe was a little bit wet looking and maybe he was like beep boop beep, making whatever, like the standard alien that you think of. I loved that he was something different. And yeah, it was almost like it added to his kindness, like to his like the heart of this. That sounds so weird to say. This rock alien had a heart, and but he did, and he was smart, like stupid smart, and he
Yeah.
just wanted to save his planet too. Like he was just there to. He's like, I gotta do something here too, bro. He
Hmm.
was his own Ryland Grace, like he was his own.
Yeah. I mean, I know this
Um,
isn't a theme of the movie, but I'll agree with like the creature design is really cool, and aliens could look like anything, really. So we always tend to humanize them.
yeah.
They're always portrayed as kind of very human-like creatures in a lot of things, but they could just be a being made of rocks. Who knows? So yeah, it was really cool that they went that way, and just the fact that he was an actual puppet, so you could just the way his limbs moved and everything, the way his body was articulated was realistic because it was realistic. He was an actual thing that they were moving. So worked out really well. Um, and in the vein of Rocky, my last theme for the movie is just friendship, man. Bros being bros.
Just two
It
bros.
I'm going to come back to this later when we get to the ending, but it did remind me of Interstellar in a way, because just like in that movie with Matthew McConaughey and Anne Hathaway, how we talked about the ending, they were the only two people in the entire world that went through that experience that could understand each other. It's the same in here with Rocky and Grace. They're literally the only two people that, like, that bond they share is like nothing else.
That's funny that you said Interstellar because do I
Did
have some
you
notes for you?
did do and Grace, do you think it was like a Paul and Matt situation, kind of? Am I the Grace or the Rocky?
No, I didn't think of you guys at all.
Okay,
Nope,
because I
not
I
in the
think
slightest. No.
I think I'm both.
Okay, you just want to be
Matt's
the
one of the
lead
dead
of
guys.
something. Oh my gosh, he's the dead AT&T girl.
I wouldn't have shot his body out of the airlock if that was the case. I would have used it to cuddle.
That's weird. Okay, do you want to talk, since we're kind of talking about Rocky being a puppet, you want to do a little bit on the cast?
Sure. Do you want to start with Rocky?
I only wrote about Ryan Gosling.
Oh, well, Rocky's great. So yeah, just the puppetry is really cool, and the fact that they use practical effects, I feel like people have talked about that a ton. But much like Interstellar, I think it's just another like puppet figure, and it works just like Tars did in that movie, because we actually have people puppeting around. And what else? Okay, so why I think Rocky is so great, and what Rocky reminds me of, and what I think they might have been going for.
A
Rocky
dog.
really yes, he comes across just like if we gave a dog a voice box.
He's a
Just
little
even the way
golden retriever.
yes. Okay. I'm glad
I
you
didn't
thought
read your
this.
notes. I didn't even read your notes.
Okay, because it says that in my notes.
Oh my gosh. I think we've done too many episodes where now we're just like finishing each other's
Well,
sandwiches.
honestly, he really does come across like that, though. I mean, I could literally picture Buster running around with a little voice box acting
Yeah.
just like Rocky, except Buster's kind of a dope and Rocky was really smart, but pretty similar
Well, but in the
vibes.
same vein of just kind of Buster being a bull in a china shop, like he
Yeah.
kind of rolls around the ship and just hits things, and he's like in his little sphere, but just still knocking around. Like you could
He
be
did have a
smart and
little bit of
still.
Baby Yoda vibes with that sphere, like just floating around too. I mean, maybe it's
Oh,
just
I
because
didn't
he's a
think that,
puppet
but
and a little bit adorable,
yeah,
but yeah.
a little bit
Uh,
adorable. You couldn't even see any facial features. There was nothing there, nothing to look at.
he- Everyone loves Rocky.
I loved him. I loved him. And actually I didn't know, going into it that he was not CGI or that there was
Oh,
no
really?
CGI whatsoever. I didn't know that. Um but now knowing and seeing like interviews and things and the fact that like most of the time Ryan was just alone on set.
Hmm.
And I guess the actor, for Rocky, he's like, I don't want him to be alone in this. So he stayed on set and did the puppetry and read the lines. And I think that's how he kind of got the role, right? Was just because he
Because
was reading the lines and they were
yeah,
like,
that's
oh, he's
what
actually
I
really good.
read too. That they were originally just going to like have a professional voice actor, or another
Yeah.
celebrity, do the voice, but because they were actually acting together, like the performance was so good, it was like, why change
Hmm.
this? So yeah, really cool how that worked out. So
Yeah.
then I guess we can talk about Ryan Gosling. Was he's the lead of this movie, the Paul of this movie?
Yes. Not the Paul of this movie, though. He is the lead of this movie. And I wrote down, I said, I felt like this movie, yes, it is very long. And honestly, most of it is just Ryan Gosling, with obviously those flashbacks intermittently spliced. But this man carried this movie. I did not look away from him once. And I like him. Everybody, I mean, he's a cute guy. He's pretty hot. He does great work and blah blah blah. But this is like, if he wasn't considered a leading man before, this man is a leading man. Like he did this. He did 2.5-ish hours of just quality fucking work. He put in the work. He was so charming. Charming was like the big word that I wrote. I was like, it's like, because Ryan has charm and he gave it to Ryland. It's Ryan and Ryland,
Yeah.
both very charming. And he struck just such a nice balance between humor and emotion for me, because I was chuckling and then obviously, as Taylor pointed out, crying.
Yeah, you said charm, I said charisma. Like I said, he oozes a certain kind of charisma that
He
I
got that
don't think
riz.
he's got that riz. But I'm an adult, so I just say the full word. Yeah, but it's just a certain movie star kind of charisma that normal people like you and I, we could never hope to be that charismatic.
You don't think I have riz, bro?
Not Ryan Gosling riz.
Drop it in
You've
the
got
chat. Chat, drop it in the chat and let me
Um,
know if I got
so
that
obviously
riz.
Ryan Gosling is a good actor. We know he's good at drama. We know he's good at comedy. He's fun on SNL. And I
Oh
don't think
yeah.
I've ever seen him in anything where I've thought, oh, Ryan Gosling's bad in that. But I do think he like kicks it up a gear here. Like he's really going for it, and everything he does makes this performance work.
Hmm.
Um, he has there's something just about his just charisma again. He comes across as the kind of guy that you could see actually being like cool enough to pull Ava Mendez, but also dorky enough to be a middle school science teacher. Like he's walking that
That's
fine
yeah.
line. And
Uh-huh.
yeah, he carries the movie. Like it's just yeah, a movie star performance where you're basically acting by yourself for the entire time, and to ask someone to do that, it takes a lot, and he pulls it off.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned SNL because you remember those sketches that he did with the alien and
Oh, with Kate
Kate
McKinnon.
McKinnon.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, he's coming in and he's probing me and he can't hold it. Like,
Do you think that was
I'm sure that
practice for this movie?
yeah, that's what I mean. Like, did the casting directors see this and they're like, that guy can do that. Well, actually, from what I found out, he bought the rights to this book a long time
It
ago.
was before it was even published. He had the manuscript, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
making this." So that's
So
really
it's
cool.
been going on for a while.
I
So
guess we can talk about the
no.
book and miscellaneous thoughts or something. I didn't actually write any notes about the book, but I did read it, so we can talk about
Well,
it.
you could talk a little bit about it because I'm sure there are people who read the book and then saw the movie, so you'll be able to speak to them. I'm
The
only
book is
speaking
bad.
from the perspective of I watched Barbie recently,
I
so
like Barbie.
so good.
It's the only Andy Weir book I have read. I haven't read or seen The Martian, but Andy
Oh,
Weir
he did
is a
that too.
yes. So
Big space
great
guy.
idea guy, great sciencey guy, terrible prose writer and terrible dialogue writer. I did not come away really liking the book because I just don't think he's a good writer. He is great at coming up with the plot, but I think that's why this movie is so much better than the book, because it was handed off to actual talented writers that were able to do something with his story. So would
Okay.
not recommend the book. And lots of people do love it, but I think it's just one of those things, like all the stuff that blows up on Book Talk and us serious readers are like, how is this popular? It's terrible.
Do you think that it was a
Which,
faithful adaptation?
well,
Do
absolutely.
you think
Yeah.
it did it justice?
Yeah. It was
Okay.
better.
You don't hear that a lot.
You don't. But yeah, better in pretty much every conceivable way.
Damn. Sorry, Mr.
Uh,
Weir.
It's he'll never hear this. Yeah, that's well, there's only really other one person to talk about it. It's Sandra Hüller.
Well, you seem to know her.
I've seen Anatomy of a Fall,
Okay.
so that was
Well, she
nominated
was great.
for.
The performance, the karaoke performance, I thought that that was one of the parts I cried, and I'm not sure why. Like yes, I was on my period, but I don't think that had anything to do with it. It was just like as soon as she picked up that microphone, just stop you cry, and I'm like why did I cry? Did anybody else cry at that part? Because am I just like overly emotional?
I was
I thought it
also
was
on my
great.
period, so that was kind of weird. I guess yeah, doing a
We're spending a
podcast,
lot of time together.
our
We're
cycles have
syncing.
synced up.
Yeah.
I didn't know the song, so maybe I don't know. I know what it is now. I've had it explained to me. But she was a great actress. I think, yeah, was just kind of perfect for that role. She has sort of that no nonsense attitude. Like,
Right.
she cares
Yeah.
enough about humanity to want to save it, but she will do anything to save it, including someone you think, like, possibly her friend. She's willing to sacrifice him to die to
Yeah.
save everyone else. So I don't know, maybe it's just because when she's German in the movie. I don't know if the actress is actually German.
And giving him that like
Yes.
illusion of deciding that
Yeah.
he was gonna
So
go or not, but then just
yeah,
drugging him.
she was all. I mean, she's not in nearly as much of the movie, but the third most important character, and yeah, she brought it.
She brought it.
Everyone brought it.
I liked her.
And I
Yeah,
did say
everybody.
I wish there had been more Melina von Traub in the movie, but
Hey, you can just turn on your Peacock and watch a TV show because she'll show up in the middle
in the AT&T commercials.
on a commercial. Okay. Anything else that you had for acting? Actors?
I think that's really everything I have about the cast.
Do you want to move into plot? Since we discussed the book a little bit, we can do a little bit of plot.
Sure.
Thought.
What did you think
Plot thought.
about it, the non-linear narrative of the movie? So, listeners, if you haven't seen this, I don't know why you're still listening, but the movie
If
is
you've made
told
it
with
this far.
flashbacks sporadically throughout the movie. What did you think of that, Katelynn?
I actually wrote that I liked it because I felt like it kept me engaged as somebody, like I said, that isn't very like sciencey focused. It gave me something else to work with. And as much as I love Ryan Gosling, sometimes you got to see somebody else on the screen. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So it was kind of, I thought it was a good way to see what he was missing, but also what we were missing as a viewer. Kept the plot driving forward for me. And you learn more about why he is alone there and how he managed to get there. I don't know how else you would get that information across if we weren't doing it through those flashbacks because he's alone. So I guess maybe the other option would be he tells Rocky the story. But then at that point, it's just a conversation. So it's better to do it and see it, like a visual representation.
Yeah, I
You
wasn't
didn't
really
like it.
sure. No, I did like it. I wasn't sure
Okay,
how
okay.
I was
Okay.
going to feel about it at the beginning of the movie when, yeah, they were cutting back and forth. I was like, oh, this is what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't sure it was going to work, but it did. Especially because you kind of realize that you're finding things out as he's remembering
As
them.
he's finding it out. Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that it just kind of worked. Not that there was much of a mystery to the movie, but it just, it was a way, like you said, I think, to cut up some of the space stuff with more of the stuff back on Earth to break it up a little bit. So it wasn't just Ryan Gosling the entire time. And yeah, just a nice way to dole out information. without overwhelming us with just a bunch of backstory all at once.
Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, I didn't hate just, having the one-on-one talking between,
Hmm.
Grace and Rocky, but it also helps to see it. It's like a visual representation of, I'm sure, what he told Rocky. It also helps you get more actors in, more people to look at, more story, and then you get a Harry Styles song out of it, so it's a good song.
I didn't know it.
Okay. Well, now you're gonna listen to it. What did you think about the overall just microorganism situation eating the sun? How did that land with you? Because it was pretty terrifying for me.
Oh, I mean, it was interesting that they went with that instead of it was just humans destroying the planet, that it was basically another alien
Which is
species
probably
that
even
was threatening
scarier.
us. Well, yeah. I mean, maybe that would have just hit too close to home and people would have felt like they were getting preached at, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Spoiler everyone, we are destroying the planet. So yeah, it was just uh, I mean, you could just read it as a metaphor for global warming or something, or climate change, whatever you want, but yeah, it was fine.
I'm not saying either that it couldn't happen, from a sciencey perspective, that
I
this
don't know
isn't
enough
already
about
taking place.
microphage or yeah. Well, I think we'd probably realize if it was taking place. I don't know. But yeah, it's just interesting, especially given that Rocky is an alien species that's like sentient, and we're able to communicate with him, whereas this is an alien species that is just so alien and kind of not evolved to the point that we can't even like, hey, you're destroying us. It's just a parasite essentially that's devouring the sun. So that's even scarier, I think, than something like, I don't know, the xenomorphs from Alien coming to attack, or Independence Day. Like, at least those they want to destroy us, but we could communicate with them. This is just like an unthinking thing that is just
Hmm.
trying to eat. So it is scary in a way and
Yeah.
cool. It's just sciency.
Yeah. Sciencey, cool, scary.
Yeah.
Um, I also just wrote that I love that it was an unexpected best friend story because, like I said, I didn't read the book, so I didn't know that this was going to be such a huge thing. My husband does have the book. I did read the last page, which I guess I should not have done. So I did have some idea about what was happening there. Um, but I mean, for me, like I said, I think that you don't want to just be inundated with science, science, science over and over and over again. And that's something that with all these movies that we've watched, I think particularly Interstellar and then 2001, I think those were just science, 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 like hammering you all the time with science. And I needed the best friend aspect, the humor of it, uh, to kind of help me, I guess, like pull me out of it so I wasn't just like inundated over and over again with it. Um, Go ahead.
No, I think it probably, of all of the movies we watched, it does have that balance more than anything else. Because I I don't. Maybe we talked about this a little bit with Interstellar, but it doesn't do as good of a job as this movie is balancing the science with the rest of it. Like, this is a lot of science and a lot of stuff, but it doesn't make it that hard to understand. You don't feel like you've got to like
Right.
be 100% on top of things to it's simple enough science that I think you can just watch the movie without having much of an understanding.
Yeah.
Or
Or if you go
like
to the bathroom twice, you're not
yeah.
really gonna miss, like, what's the what the heck is happening here.
Yeah, so it was sciencey without being overwhelming, and I think that's definitely something you could say negative about Interstellar. I don't know. There's not a lot of human connection in 2001. I think with Apollo 13, it's almost so there's a lot of human connection, but it's such a dire movie that it's a survival movie, I guess.
Yeah.
You don't get any of the or nearly as many of those moments of levity like you do in this movie. So, and then what was the other movie we watched? Oh, Galaxy Quest is pretty funny, but
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah,
like
but that
you
wasn't
said, none of the
as
characters are super deep.
science-y. That was
No, not
more
that was
that
yeah,
was more fun, funny exposition, friendship
yeah,
than it was science. So I
right.
we did a good mix then, right? We did a good
Yeah, I
mix
think
of
so.
movies that were really, like, science forward and ones that were a good
Just a
mix.
little silly, and yeah. So A
Yeah.
plus for
I
us on Space Month.
Yeah, we did a good job. I just as the listeners probably know about me by now, I need something to hold on to, whether it's the friendship, a romance, like something to keep me going. And so
Caitlin needs
that
some sort of
this
human element to ground her in the movie. It can't just be, if you wanted just science, you could just throw on Bill Nye, right?
Yeah, yes, I agree.
Cool.
I agree with that. The only other thing
So
I wrote was that they broke what I thought the normal alien trope.
you
I
like
wrote
that?
that too. Yeah, I like it.
Well, just some of the things, some of the chatter I've been seeing on the internet, people's criticisms with it is that it's just too long and the humor is lame. Did you have any feelings? You already kind of talked about the length of the movie. I personally did not feel like it seemed too long. I know some of our friends disagreed with that when the movie was over, but
I don't maybe not saying that it was too long, but I felt like there was times when I was like, okay, well, this has to be the end.
yeah, okay. I
I
do
thought,
think it
okay,
had
they
a
can't
Return
do
of the
anything
King.
else here.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, here's another
it's still
problem.
going.
Because that was one criticism that I was seeing online, and I didn't fully agree with, but I wrote it down anyway, just to for the chatter of it, is that it was kind of formulaic. It was problem, fix the problem again, bigger problem, fix it. You know, but what else do you want?
Yeah.
Everybody dies, it blows up. Rocky's dead. You love Rocky, and now he's dead, and he's floating through
Wow.
space. Is
Thanks
that
for
what you guys
wanting
wanted?
Rocky to die, everyone. Jesus.
God, you guys suck.
I hate our audience. Matt Turner, shame on
We
you.
love audience, please. We love audience. Jeez,
um,
oh pieces.
yeah, I get that. I don't know. When I finished with the movie, I wasn't like, eh. And I will say the person that complained about the movie being too long was my sister, and she's 8 months pregnant. So thanks for showing up, Kelly, even though you've got a baby inside you. Um,
You look
Honestly, I want to watch it
amazing.
again. And for a movie that's almost 3 hours long, I already want to watch it again. I think that says something about the length not
Oh, I
being
agree. I
a.
would definitely watch it again.
And as far as the humor, like I thought some of the jokes were kind of lame, but I thought that was kind of intentional because he was kind of a dork.
I thought so too,
I
yeah.
thought just his bad jokes was just kind of because he's a middle school science teacher kind of guy. And I will say it's worse in the book, like the trying to be funny, like dad jokiness, like I think is really Andy Weir coming through in the book. And like I said, his dialogue writing is just atrocious. So maybe it didn't bother me as much in the movies because I thought they cleaned it up a lot more than they did in the book.
Because it's cloudy with a chance of meatballs.
Cloudy with a chance of meatballs, even in space. That's pretty much all I have to say about the plots.
All right. What do you have for cinematic favorite moments?
Space fishing.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the best scene in the.
I cried at that scene.
It's the scene you want to see it in IMAX for. Like just the colors, everything about it's pure cinema at that point.
Yeah, that was my first note. I wanted it under both favorite and cinematic.
Yeah, same.
For listeners, you'll remember, or if you're going to go see, they have to go collect some samples from the planet so that they can do some more science on it. And he makes, I guess, like, what would you call that? Like a camera to like catch it it's almost like a Polaroid camera.
Well, I don't know. It's some sort of container to catch it.
Well, anyway, he says, ready, let's go, whatever he says. And he pushes that thing in and the whole screen just pink. And the astrophage
Yeah, it's some sort of, I thought you meant, never mind. Go on, Katelynn.
That's okay. Um, for something that is essentially destroying the sun and is going to kill our planet, it was probably the most beautiful thing that it could have been. Like, for being so terrifying. And that was probably the second time that I cried during the movie. I don't know. I saw the colors and I saw just the sparkling and the dust, and he's just standing there and like it was so beautiful, you guys.
It was beautiful. It made you really appreciate the majesty of space. And then it's immediately followed by like a pretty tense action sequence and like escaping from the gravity of a planet where they could have crashed. And so, I mean, obviously, well, maybe not obviously, but that's probably close to the climax of the movie. So I don't know. Maybe it's
well, that's when I thought it was going to end there too. So that's what I mean. Like I thought that was going to be like an ending part. On top of that, the planet, if you remember, was like green.
Looked really cool. Yeah.
It almost looked like spilled gasoline to me. No?
Maybe it was. I've never spilled gasoline before.
I don't know, because they didn't use CGI, so who knows what that was. But yeah, this movie is just absolutely stunning. And if you have the option to watch it in IMAX, do it before they're not going to pull it. I think they're going to keep this one for quite a while. Hopefully, if they know it's good for them. Please just go. You got to go see it.
Well, I just think they used some CGI. I think they didn't use any green screen, but obviously some stuff is CGI. Like they had to CGI stuff out, and
Okay.
they
Well,
weren't
I
really
think
in space.
I guess I'm just using the wrong term. They weren't? They
No,
didn't send Ryan up there?
not on this one.
He wasn't
Next one,
waving to
maybe.
Katy Perry?
No, it was not.
The other cinematic that I wanted to mention was inside Rocky's spaceship. You had mentioned earlier the kind of being very interstellar and some like callbacks to Interstellar, but I don't know if you noticed, but all those little slats when he went inside of his ship, that looked like the back of the bookshelf.
Okay, I can see that. I
You
didn't
could see
really
that?
draw that at the time, but yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I like that too. Just the way his spaceship looked so much different than the kind of spaceships we design. The way an alien species made of rocks would kind of make a ship is probably way different than us flesh and bone people would make ships. So just, yeah, the
Yeah.
design was really
I
cool.
wonder if he was bopping around his ship the same way that he bopped around Grace's ship. Like, were those like spindly things like thin, like where he couldn't roll around as easily? I don't
I don't
know.
know.
It was
I would assume
huge.
so. Yeah. Well, I had a whole crew and they all died. So
And they all died. And no one watched Rocky sleep for 45 days. He was alone.
yeah, that's scary.
That's fucking terrifying.
I don't. Still, I don't know. Most of the movie is my favorite moment. It was a really good movie. Karaoke song, I guess, even though I didn't know it, it was pretty emotional.
Yeah,
I'm
that
not trying to
was
be
my
cool. I just don't know any Harry Styles
favorite.
music.
Okay.
Oh, I feel like, the
You
listeners sometimes think when I'm saying like I don't know popular things, I'm just trying to be this cool guy that's outside of the mainstream. I have no thoughts or opinions on Harry Styles. I've just never really listened to his music. I'm sorry I
You should
didn't get
listen
the
to his new
song.
album. It's actually really good. But you should actually listen to BTS Audiodag because that's actually much better. But anyway,
Yeah.
that's neither here nor there. Yeah, favorite moments were the performance, her little karaoke. I also liked when he woke up in the beginning. I thought that was a little funny, kind of cheeky little moment. He's rolling around the spaceship and the Eduardo, that he named Eduardo, the robot's kind of trying to, get back up there. Like you don't have motor functions. Like get back up. And it's just there's no dialogue. It's just him rolling around on the floor, grunting
Mm-hmm.
around, like trying to get his body to work. And so I thought that he was just physically acting the shit out of it, is what I wrote. Um, Him meeting Rocky, like I said, I went to the bathroom, but I did see kind of his meeting him the first time and a half. Like he had already met him at that point because I did have to go really bad. But that was a nice little moment. And then the two learning to communicate, because that was another one where it's like, that's not how my brain would have worked. I would have been like, well, I guess I can't talk to him. And then I'd leave.
Yeah.
But for him to use the computer to kind of translate his sounds that he was making and turn them into an actual language that he can understand, that's another one. That's a beautiful
Yeah.
moment, because how many times do we as a country, as a people, we hear someone speaking another language and we're just like, shut up, or speak English or whatever it is.
Speak
It's like, why
English or
don't we
get out
just
of this
take the
country.
time?
Yeah.
Yeah, why don't we just take the time to understand and listen? Like I do that. Like I know bits and pieces, and this is just a personal anecdote. Like I can probably pick up a little bit of languages to kind of understand what people are saying in general. Do I know exactly what they're saying in any language? No. But just taking that couple of seconds to understand, okay, this is the situation I'm in. This is what they could be talking about. This is what they might want to be asking me in this, like a waiter comes up to you in an Italian restaurant in Italy. What do you think he's fucking asking you? You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry. That was just a
I-
tangent, but
I'm
like,
guessing, like,
just
for
listen
me,
to
it'd be like,
people.
hey, are you that guy from the podcast? And then I'd be like,
Mm-hmm.
see.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying.
Yeah. I actually have them learning to communicate under favorite moments too, because, yeah, just, I don't know, I think they go into it more in depth in the book and even get nerdier, because I don't think Rocky Species uses base 10 as a number. So they can't just do 1 through 12. But, I don't know. That's neither here nor there. But yeah, just starting with something that's kind of commonplace and like starting from there and like, yeah, how would you
Yeah.
learn?
And if he
If
doesn't
you
get it,
just have two
keep
people that,
trying.
you point to something and say what it is. So really cool. And, kind of a cheat that they've got the computer there to translate for you so that we can actually understand Rocky throughout the whole movie ourselves. But it was great.
Mm-hmm.
And Rocky was a lot of fun. And just, yeah, I agree with everything that you said about trying to communicate with people.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Do you have any other favorites that you want before we talk about that ending?
No, we can jump to the ending. Like, this movie was just really good, y'all. So I can't pick many favorites, and I would just say go see the movie because maybe a lot of the moments will be your favorite as well.
I agree. Okay, ending. He decides to turn his ship around to go save Rocky after all and ends up living on his planet. I can't remember what it's called. Ennis? Adenis? Whatever it's called.
Well, they're called Iridians, right? So is it Irid or you? I don't know.
That
It's
sounds
something with
right.
an E. You
So
thought
what
it
do you
was
think about
Ennis
him going
because it's like
back?
your husband's middle name? No,
No.
so I like that they went weird with it. I honestly thought that they were going to end the movie when Grace was on his way back to Earth. I thought that was just going to be it. Maybe you'd see his ship, but because I remember how the book ends, and that's obviously it ends the same way as the movie, and I didn't think they
Yeah.
would give us the weird thing and having him end up on the alien planet, but I like that they did. I will agree with you that it seems like there's moments where the movie should be ending prior to that, and so it does feel a little Return of the Kingy, but I liked it, and this is where I said I would talk about Interstellar again, but it's honestly the same thing I already said in that it's just like these two people that have such a singular experience that they're the only ones like that bond that they have. I don't know if you noticed, but at the end of the movie, they're not using a translator anymore. Like
Yeah,
they
he
can
just
understand.
understands him.
So like, and I think that's just a perfect, like, these are literally the only two people anywhere that can understand each other. So
Mhm.
really, really liked it.
Yeah, and I don't think I mentioned it super a lot at the beginning, but um Ryland Grace does not have any friends or family. So he has nobody back there, and that's one of the reasons why they chose him for the mission, and that's why they chose well, they said they chose the other astronauts for the mission, but then when he finds their photos in like their personal belongings, some of them do have family. So
I think they
it
volunteered.
yeah, it's
That's the
almost
thing.
like
Like he wasn't a volunteer, and I think they were kind of justifying it by the fact that he didn't have any
he's a lonely
because
guy,
they were
yeah.
going to force him to go. But now he does have someone. He found a
Now he
connection.
has somebody,
That connection that he
and
has
maybe
to
that's
Rocky
enough.
maybe means more to
Right.
him
Maybe that's
because he
enough to
does.
keep him on a whole other planet.
Yeah, he has a choice to go home, but he's got a best bro, so he's got that
Mhm.
connection that he was missing on Earth. And also just the willingness to sacrifice for others. Like we do see earlier in the movie that Rocky is willing to sacrifice himself for Grace. He saves his life.
Mhm.
And then Grace returns the favor, and I was gonna say something cheesy like bros before hoes, but it's really just bros before
It's
anything,
just
right?
bros before bros. It's
Bros
bros
in the
before
general
this
sense that we're
planet.
all bros.
And I think it's funny that he does become a teacher on the planet as well,
Hmm.
like teaching these other alien children, I guess, about things. So he does find some enjoyment in the teaching aspect of it as well. So returning to that. And I guess in my brain, I hope that there is a moment where he does say, okay, it's time to go back. And maybe he can bring his knowledge back to Earth. Maybe.
Maybe I kind of like him staying there forever.
Yeah, but what about Rocky and his partner? He has a girlfriend or a partner.
I don't
Like
know.
maybe he wants to build his life and not have to worry about Grace anymore. I don't know.
I have a partner, but I also have friends.
Yeah, I guess so. You're right. I don't know. I just thought maybe he'd return one day. Return of the
Maybe he
King.
will. I don't know. I did like the ending that they showed on Earth too. That just you got such a small amount of it, but to see how it had affected the planet and like the ship was sailing through like just icy water and she was wrapped up in a big old winter coat and you can see even the amount of time that he has been gone that the planet had cooled and
Yeah.
his sacrifice really did mean something because now hopefully they'll be able to fix the sun.
Yep. And he named all of the packages that he sent back after the Beatles.
Yeah, I think that
John,
had some
Paul, George, and
broader
Ringo.
significance in the book, but I don't really remember what it was. I think maybe the drones did more stuff in the books and he called them. I don't know. I don't care about the Beatles.
Okay. Well, I don't know if you should say that exactly. Any other ending? Because I do have one
No.
miscellaneous thought.
Go for your miscellaneous thought.
Shout out to Ryan Gosling and his slutty little
Some
glasses.
more slutty little glasses. Caitlin
We
loves
love us
slutty little
slutty little
things. Don't
glasses.
say we.
On this podcast, we love slutty little glasses. Wow. This thing.
I'm not even little or slutty.
Just too little. He wore them wrong for most of the movie, and it was absolute perfection. Hang those little glasses off your ear, Ryan. Hang those little glasses. 10 out of 10.
Well, my miscellaneous thoughts, we have the benefit of seeing the box office numbers for the weekend, and this movie is a hit. $80 million.
It's a
So
hit.
the most money a non-franchise movie has made since Oppenheimer. Yeah, it's just really cool to see so many people out at the theaters seeing this, and hopefully Weekend 2
People
will
don't want to
also
miss
be.
it.
Yeah, I think the word of mouth is going to be so positive at this point
Yeah.
that Weekend 2 is also going to make a ton of money. So just
And I'm
really
also
happy.
hoping on that note that it just leads to more of this type of movie.
Hmm.
Um, there's an interview and a quote that's going around about that Ryan Gosling said, and he was like, it's not, the viewers' jobs to go to the movies. It's our job to give them a reason to want to go to the movies. And that's the first time that I've heard like an artist really that is like, well, we just need to do better. Like, why aren't we giving them the things that they want to see? Why aren't we giving them a reason to get out of their Jimmy Jams and order it video on demand? This is exactly the reason to get out of your Jimmies and go to the theater. Grab yourself a peacorn, get yourself a Slurpee, and enjoy this with other people, your friends, your fellow viewers, whoever.
Your lovers.
You love us.
Matt
Go
Turner.
see it with a lover. Okay.
Maybe both.
Great movie. We love it. Go see it. And that's
Yeah.
all I got for that.
Yeah. I have nothing else to add to it. A+ movie.
A+ movie. Do you have any non-movie shout-outs to wrap up the old show?
Man, no, I don't. Katie's mom, my dear mother-in-law, got me this Rushmore t-shirt for my birthday. So I was wearing it because it's my favorite movie on the movie podcast that I run. So I guess shout out to Katie's mom and this new t-shirt that she got me.
She knows we have the show, right?
Yeah, we've talked about it.
Oh,
She watched
just...
Rushmore for the first time because I was like, you should watch Rushmore. It's my favorite movie.
That's really sweet that she did that.
And then she bought me a shirt for my birthday because she thought this line, "Oh, are they?" was very funny.
Oh, that's cute. That's so funny.
It's the funniest line in the movie, so she's correct.
My non-movie shout out goes to BTS. I don't want to get emotional. The boys are back. It's been about 4 years, and the album is out of this world good. I have tickets.
It was pronounced BSB.
That's Backstreet Boys. That's a different
Oh, there
band.
is another one?
Paul, don't do this to me. I'm trying to have an emotional moment. People, I'm not the only army, and I'm sure I'm not the only army listening to our show right now. And just,
Are you sure about that? Because you honestly might be.
I think I am the luckiest girl in the world, Paul, because I have tickets to see them live. And like, I'm so lucky.
Are they playing an arena? Like, aren't there just thousands of people that also got tickets to see them live?
Yeah, but there's a lot of people that can't see them live either. Like, there's a lot of people that don't have the means, or they can't get there, or, whatever it is. So I'm so thankful that I get to go see them, and I'm so thankful that they're back. And this album is, like I said, it's so fucking good, and I can't stop listening to it. And so shout out to BTS. I love you guys so much.
Well, I want it that way.
Okay. And then, like we said, you guys, we have a new theme coming next month because we did it. And I guess we already mentioned it, so I'll just say it again, right?
Yeah.
Animation domination, even though that's definitely a Fox thing.
I think we were calling it Animated April.
Animated April? I call it animation domination for some reason.
Yeah, we're not going to get sued by Fox, so... Yeah, we're going to watch some animated movies. And honestly, right now, we don't know what we're watching next, but just tune in for a surprise.
It's going to be a surprise to us, too.
Yeah.
And I think I messaged you, and I think I like what I came up with.
On the schedule, you literally put whatever. Sure, we'll talk about it.
Well, because it was like there's two options. Okay, you know what? We're going to discuss that. We're going to take that one offline. We're going to table that. Yeah. That is the end of the episode. Do you want to tell the people where to find us?
You can find us on the internet.
Okay. You can like and subscribe and rate our podcast. You can do that on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You can go to YouTube and give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down, but actually give us the thumbs up.
Give us a thumbs up. Hit the little bell, hit that subscribe button. Yeah.
So you can be notified anytime that we have an episode.
To the TikToks? We're not using TikTok anymore,
we're
right?
done with the TikToks. I'm sorry.
Good. Fuck
TikTok. I had to make a decision. Thank you. I had to make a decision for both of us, and they will not get my biometric ID. You can also follow us on Instagram at theme.onscreen. Letterbox, follow our journey there. Both Paul and I have individual ones, and then there's one for the podcast. So you can follow along on everything that we're watching. And like I said, we're on YouTube, Theme on Screen.
Yeah, so thank you so much for listening to this one. Go see Project Hail Mary.
Shout out Ryan Gosling. Shout out BTS. And thank you, listeners. We'll
Shout out
see
Katie's
you
mom.
or listen to you next week. And Katie's mom. We'll see you next week.
Bye, everyone.